Das Radical.
Now, unless you're living under a rock or in a different country, you will know that we got elections coming up in Iceland in about 2 weeks. That is local elections, local meaning city, district and county elections, city, district or county depending on what sort of district or city or whatever you reside in. But yeah, in this video I want to focus on what I think is the most curious local election in Iceland right now, which is the local election of Vestmannaeyjar. Now, Vestmannaeyjar has historically been one of the conservative Independence Party's biggest strongholds. For example, it has not been uncommon for them to get a majority of all the votes and therefore for them to form a absolute majority on their local city council or whatever it's called, their Sveitarstjórn. Now, Vestmannaeyjar has a town with about, I don't think, 4,500 people, which is only about 1.3% of the population of Iceland, but one of the reasons why I think the Independence Party has always been so strong there is this is one of Iceland's most important fishing industry communities, and the Independence Party has, according to them, I don't know, I've never even been to Vestmannaeyjar, kept the fishing industry there locally, so and I don't know, maybe they spread the wealth better around in Vestmannaeyjar, I don't know. You have to consider that Vestmannaeyjar, again, is an island society within an island society. So you think Iceland is a tightly knit society, Vestmannaeyjar is probably tightly knitted like several times over compared to Iceland. But what is most curious about the election in Vestmannaeyjar is that, well, there are only 3 parties, or well, 3 lists, as they are called, running there. You got the Independence Party on one side, which in the last local elections got around 60–70% of the vote, so you have full majority. And running against them is not one of the usual parties that you would suspect here in Iceland, like not the Progressive Party, not Left Green or the Pirate Party or any of that. Now what you got are 2 local lists. You got a list called Eyjalistin, the Island list, which is from what I was able to gather online, is a collection of independents and members of other parties like Progressive Party members, Left Greens, Social Democrats, and even some Bright Future members. Bear in mind, some of the information that I have is from 2014, so there's a good chance that Bright Future is no longer around at all, which would not be surprising. But yeah, apparently alone they cannot take on the might of the Independence Party of Vestmannaeyjar, so instead they... Independence Party of Vestmannaeyjar, that sounded like it's a party dedicated to like Vestmannaeyjar independence, which would be a hilarious idea, by the way. Although I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the people of Vestmannaeyjar dream of that, of, you know, succeeding from Iceland and creating their own nation. So yeah, you got all these different folks from different parties, as well as a lot of independents coming together to create not really a party, but it's called a list. If you watched my video on history of Icelandic political parties, you'll remember how the Bandala Commons People Alliance started out as a election alliance between the Socialist Party and several members of the Social Democrats. So I'm guessing it's the same thing going on with the Island list, Eyjalistin. If you're wondering what is in the Island List Party platform, it's basically social democracy and cooperation. Well, cooperation makes sense if you got people from different parties coming together to form a single list, but yeah, I guess this spreading the social democracy even more greatly. And then we have the Meirihluti election list, or meirihluti, or meirihluti. Meirihluti is the largest island of the Vestmannaeyjar chain, and you know, it's actually the only island where people live on. I think maybe there's a farm on one or two of the other islands, but as far as we're concerned, all of the people just like, yeah, the islands are plural, and but almost all of the people, if not all of them, live on just Heimaey. Oh, well, that required way too much explanation. But anyway, this is the newly created local party of Heimaey, and what do they stand for? Well, they want to, and I'm quoting directly of one of the articles that I read, they're trying to fight for, well, they just want to improve the society of Heimaey, which is a very broad definition, but among other things they want to promote more direct democracy in the island, which I think is a cool idea. Now, another thing that why the local election of Vestmannaeyjar this year is kind of interesting is because the island list and for Heimaey together are actually pulling, well, they're threatening the majority position of the Independence Party. So we could, for the first time in, I don't know, forever, I didn't read up on the entire political history of Vestmannaeyjar, sorry about that, but as far as I know, this would be the first time for a long time where the Independence Party in Vestmannaeyjar might actually have to settle with being in the opposition role rather than being the ruling party, which I find fascinating. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown over this particular election because I thought it was fascinating. But yeah, in the next video I'm gonna talk a little bit about the local elections here in Reykjavik, which, as you can imagine, being Iceland's largest single constituency, are quite a bit more complicated, and well, you'll see.
Das Radikal.